So, now that now that the editorial page is going to write about nothing but personal freedoms in free markets, like, they weren't doing that
there's
before.
apparently been more details on that. The departed opinion editor, he said, so he quit because the owner, right, Jeff Bezos, the world's richest man, maybe tied with Elon Musk, said that from now on, the Washington Post will only cover the issues of personal freedom and capitalism, right, on the front, or free markets, right. I should say, on the
free
front,
markets,
on the front, in the opinion section. Bezos elaborated and said, "Of course, we'll cover other things. We will just no longer have space for anything that opposes personal freedoms and free markets." And I'm like, I think you would have to search very hard to find a single sentence that's ever appeared in the Washington Post that opposes free markets or personal freedom.
Well, and is that code for Donald Trump? We have to believe so, because Amazon has multi-billion-dollar contracts with and pending with the federal government. Mm-hmm. You notice that Bezos, Musk is not really threatening those yet. And I suspect that this move will allow Amazon to get those contracts, because in 2019, 2018, they were up for a multi-billion-dollar cloud contract with the federal government. And because of, democracy dies in darkness of the Washington Post, the administration gave it to, I believe it was Microsoft, not to Amazon. That's Bezos doesn't want a repeat of that, because that was a lot of money. Those fifth yachts don't come cheap.
Yeah, that's true, especially the kind that he likes.
Oh my God, he loves them. Oh my God, these things are just monstrosities.
Yeah, I'm not sure I really understand from the billionaire mindset what the point of that is. I mean, obviously, look, they're busy people. They don't spend much time on it. They need an incredible staff 365 days a year to maintain them. I mean, basically it's like having your own floating hotel /
yes.
Party.
And you can afford it. And I think it just shows when you floated into Cannes to see the film there, or when you take it into wherever, it makes you, your yacht dwarfs everybody else's. That's the only thing it is. And he's a little guy, so I suspect there's a lot to be said for the little man syndrome when it comes to Jeff Bezos.
Well, but do you feel smaller when you're nestled in larger fake bosoms?
Some guys probably like that. That's going back to the womb, and some guys, that's a kink that I can't address, but I suspect it exists, because virtually all of them do.
That's true. That's true.
Different podcast.
Indeed. Is it really?
We can talk about that. But
seriously, I mean, so what do you think the odds are that Republicans are going to make any hay out of this? And
they're going to have hearings, but it's going to devolve.
You think there will be?
Yeah. I suspect one or both houses will.
After the book comes out, right?
I think, there's just more and more.
Because the book is going to make some news.
I think it will, but I suspect that there is just rumblings, and I want to know. I mean, I think there is a right to know, but I also predict that it will devolve into all the usual bullshittery that we have come to expect from the profiles and pudding that is the House and the Senate of the United States.
Indeed.
Ted, do you think that will happen?
I don't know. I mean, I think odds are less than 50% that we'll ever have any hearings. It's not zero, but I mean, I'd give it like a 25% chance. Like when the book comes out, if it's gets a lot of publicity, if it's well written, if it sells well, it's a lot of ifs. And if it's serialized, for example, in like major newspapers, I could see there being Republicans being like, we could have some hearings. Maybe.
What's a newspaper, Ted? I'm
right.
Sorry, you lost me on that one.
Right.
Anyway, well, let's leave it there. Ted, where can we see all things Ted Rollian?
Oh, please check both Scott and I out at gocomics.com. In my case, /Ted Roll, in Scott's case, /Scott Stantis. You can go to Center Clip, where you can also see, or more to the point, you can hear Scott and I separately but equally pontificating about this and that in very short podcasts, mini podcasts, as Scott described them. You go to my website, rall.com, RALL.com, which I will be in about probably 2 months or 3 months or so dropping a new book, which Scott has read. And,
it's excellent. It's worth a read.
Thank you.
I disagree with every
what about
page
you,
of it.
Scott? Anything before I bring us
You
out
named
with
it.
the outro?
You can go to chicagotribune.com, see the work I do for them. Go to Dallas News for the work I do for the Dallas Morning News, and go to smirkonish.com, and you can even subscribe for free to Michael Smirkonish's newsletter, daily newsletter. He has a poll. It's quite vibrant. I'm glad I'm a part of it. It really is. Excellent. So there you go.
All right. Thanks so much, Scott. As always, a pleasure. Thanks everyone for listening to us here and watching us here on the DMZ America podcast. We always drop the video first, then the audio goes up a little bit later. So just be aware of that, and subscribe to us everywhere where you get podcasts, and it'll just pop up on your device. Here comes the outro.
Go see this stuff.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.